Even we had this crazy time where potholes were a giant problem.
Yeah, and then we had that guy. He went around and complained so much.
That was me.
That was you? Okay.
That was me.
So you made the city make the apps where they could report potholes.
Yeah.
Okay, congratulations.
There you go.
That was a fun thing.
Yeah, see, that was me. I went around and I was like, look at these potholes.
Yeah, so
every Monday, we're going to give out a free Tesla.
Oh, okay, you're going to do the Oprah thing.
Yeah.
You get a car. You get a car. You get a car.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine how many people would be showing up if you guys are just giving out a Tesla away every Monday, you know?
That would get so expensive so fast.
Well, you know, hey, we carve out this section in the budget where we basically allocate all of these Teslas, right? This one's rolling as well. And that's all I really need. I don't really need another angle. Audio recording this. We're golden. All right.
Do you mind if I prop this up over here somehow?
Yeah, you can. The thing is, it gets out of focus.
Okay.
So it's like you would literally have to have it. Let me kind of see where a good spot for it would be. It would be like somewhere here. But the thing is, like,
That's fine.
it's.
No, you're fine. I'll just leave it out. That's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we. I never know because people say bring them, don't bring them.
Yeah. Looking good. Okay, here we go. Let's put this on. Oh, maybe I should grab my laptop as well too.
Isn't that where you keep all your questions at?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very basic, generic questions that I try to go through, but sometimes I go through them, sometimes I don't. So it's like, it really doesn't matter. It's just kind of like this. I like to keep this very casual, if
Yeah,
possible.
I kind of liked watching the other ones that just kind of flowed.
Yeah,
wherever it
it's
went.
like it's like this is the way I kind of feel like it happens at like. So have you went to those town meeting ones where they have like somebody asking you question by question? Has that happened yet? Or
Yeah, we did a forum at the Eastside Baptist Church.
Oh.
Did one with the Magic News.
Magic Valley Times News?
Yeah, with the CSI professor that kind of helped.
Perry Gardner?
There we go.
Oh, I know Perry. Yeah.
so-
Perry and I used to go to school together.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we did those this last week, and some of those have been posted already.
Yeah, and then see if you can kind of get the mic kind of just positioned at your mouth, kind of like, so that way it's like that. There you
Okay.
go. Perfect.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you
Okay.
perfect now. Okay, all right. So I think everything's rolling. All right, welcome to, this is, I would say, podcast number 4. And we have Patrick here.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know anybody's last name. So what's your last name, Patrick?
Patterson.
Patterson. And what seat are you running for?
So I'm going for seat 1.
Seat 1. Oh,
Yeah.
here we go. We've got somebody from seat 1.
Yeah.
You're the only person that I've gotten so far on seat 1. I have somebody coming in on Monday, and I think they might be on seat number 1 as well. I think
Okay.
his name is Michael.
Is it all? No. So there's James Brown. James Brown.
Let me see.
Jason
I got to
Brown.
check my emails.
Yeah, Jason Brown, Craig Kelly, and then there's a James Pearsall, and
Michael Allred.
okay, so he's also going for seat 5. So you'll have
Seat 5? I'll have everybody seat 5?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. There it is. We've got seat 5 all covered. That's Monday, happening Monday. So you're the only one from seat 1. Boom, instant win. You know?
So brownie points for me.
Yeah, there you go. So seat 1, what made you want to go for seat 1 versus seat 5 or Christopher Reed's seat?
So I met with Chris Reed and I kind of liked him. So
Yeah, he's a really cool guy.
Yeah, so I told him, well, I
You're like, I won't
against you."
challenge your
Yeah.
seat.
And then after talking to both Suzanne Hawkins and Greg Lanting said he knew someone that he was going to support that was going to go for his seat. So I said, well, okay, I might as well go for the seat that Suzanne said she wasn't aware someone was running for. So I figured that was the safer,
That's the safest bet.
safer route. So
Interesting. Yeah, because I was like, nobody challenged Christopher Reed. Instant win, which is amazing. For him, I guess.
I'm just happy he's still advertised.
Yeah,
he could have just said, it's in the bag. I don't need to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So let's start off with maybe just to kind of get to know you a little bit.
Okay.
Who are you? What do you do? What's your backstory, I guess?
So I'm a teacher here in town. I work over at Magic Valley High School. I think the locals call it the alternative school.
Oh, okay. Yeah. On Second.
Yeah, pretty close to it. And I've been teaching there for about 7 years now.
Oh, okay. And what do you teach there?
Social studies. So I do the government
and history.
law class.
Well, that's cool.
Geography, the fun stuff.
And I guess is that what you always wanted to be, as a teacher?
No, actually. So when I first started at CSI, I was a biology major.
Oh, okay.
And then going to school there, I got my very first F, which was in cellular anatomy. It's the only F I've ever gotten in school.
Oh,
and I took that as a sign to change my major.
Yeah.
So then I went into my second love, which was the histories and the governments. And then that
Gotcha.
kind of led into the education route.
Yeah, my sister is also all into history as well. I don't know if you know my sister. Her name is Samra. No?
No,
Boom, I
sorry.
want to be like, hey, he doesn't know you. So yeah, I would say, okay. And then I guess, have you just been always doing schooling essentially then?
Yeah. So just with the teaching. When I first lived in Twin, I worked at Cafe Rio when it first opened. That was back in my college days. And then I worked at a casino when I was up in Lewiston.
Oh, okay.
For the reservation casino up there. I was a valet driver, and then I was security.
Oh, okay. Driving all kinds of cars.
Yeah, I got to drive some nice ones.
Oh, nice. Have you ever driven a Lamborghini?
No, the nicest I got, there was this really fancy... it was some fancy Italian sports car that came
Oh, like a
out.
Maserati or something like that.
One of those two-seaters.
Yeah. You took it on a joyride.
It was you really wanted to just floor it and just feel that, just to say you've done it before. But
yeah. Yeah, I got to fire up a Ferrari, and then my friend has a Lamborghini.
Okay.
I have a friend that has a Lamborghini, a Huracan in Boise, and we floor that stuff. We're doing bad stuff when that is I hope we don't get caught. But yeah, his YouTube channel is Lazy Maniac. Anyways, what got you interested into politics? I guess what?
So I'm from a family of public servants, basically. So I'm originally from Mountain Home.
Okay.
And there, my mom worked for several judges for the county for several years. She was involved with helping a few people get elected mayor. And then she became the city clerk of Mountain Home until she recently retired earlier this year. Then my dad was a police officer. My brother's a sheriff deputy of Elmore County. And I have an uncle that was a state trooper for Idaho.
Wow. The whole family's serving Idaho here.
Yeah, so going into education, I'm the second one in my family to be a teacher. I got an aunt in Texas that was a teacher and a principal too.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of normal for us to be involved, and I'm finally at a point in my life where I could participate and say, okay, time to
put my
hat in.
Yeah. And I think when I was texting you or emailing you, I was and you're like, oh, I'm busy that day. I'm going to city council. Do you attend these as well too?
Yeah, so I'm a regular attender. I've been going for about 1.5 years now.
You're always attending these?
Just to be up to date on everything, and don't want to be that candidate that if they win, they get on there and they have no idea what the city is currently in the middle of.
Yeah.
Have to get read up on everything.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we need to catch you up here about a year, 2 years worth of stuff. And I guess so do you get some value of going there, obviously seeing what's going on?
There's a few. Sometimes if this last couple months has been all about the budget, and a lot of those meetings were really boring because they took maybe 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes just to go through certain sections. I think it was an 8-section presentation because they had to cover all these different subsections in the master plan.
Does anybody fall asleep on those?
And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of yawned on a few of them because not everyone's a great public speaker. I mean, some people are really good at doing their jobs, but when those department heads had to present what they're in charge of and what they're requesting.
Yeah.
Some of them don't have the most exciting presentation voice.
Yeah, I could kind of see that happening. That's interesting. Cool. Yeah, I've been looking at the budget, obviously. Once in a while, I'll dabble looking into it, and it just, it's like, it's a lot of money, basically. I keep saying that,
And it's a beast of a document. It's like 260 pages or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I got it over there. Like I said, I kind of, I'm like, hey, let's look at it, So, yeah, I could see how it takes a while to go through it. So, obviously you guys would be affecting 2023 budget, not 2022.
Correct. So that's already been voted on. Yep,
exactly. So I guess let's just roll into the next thing here. Why should somebody vote for you?
Okay. So I like the fact that I am not part of what I would call the good old boys club. Mm-hmm. And I'm a little separate from that. I'm also pretty honest. Being a government teacher, I get asked all kinds of questions that a lot of people usually don't like to answer. But when you're a teacher, you kind of have to answer.
Yeah.
And you have to try to not influence people to kind of think the way you do too. That's kind of that neutral tone if you're a teacher. And I'm also young. So I'm a little bit different than the people we have in there.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I've seen your signs. I was like, oh, there's Patrick right there, but I had no face association with you whatsoever.
Yeah, and so this is my first time running, so I'm kind of learning as I go. And I've already learned a few things to do.
You need giant billboards.
Yeah, I need billboards with my face on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Mr. Spencer Cutler.
He's making giant.
Yeah, his face is everywhere.
Well, he's like a maintenance guy at CSI, so he can make that stuff. He knows how to go ahead and probably do that. So he probably just made him himself. He put a lot of effort in this.
And the only other can I've seen a face on, I think it's the Hannah Cameron, if I remember right.
Oh,
She's got her face on her signs
her signs and stuff like that. Yeah, you kind of get to I think people want to see who they're kind of almost voting for versus just seeing like a name or something like that.
Yeah, and this is kind of the first time where I'm hoping my initials will make people remember me.
Yeah, remember me, people. Patrick.
Yeah. So hopefully it works.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about who can get the most word out and who can kind of be the most relatable itself,
And then you're just hoping that people pay attention because there's a lot of people in Twin that have no idea that there's an election currently in process with the early voting.
Yeah. What's your plan of trying to reach these people?
So I tried the Facebook advertising.
Yeah.
And that was a lot more of a pain than I thought it was going to be, trying to prove that I am who I said I was and all that stuff.
They won't let you run ads unless you prove who you are.
Yeah. Had to give them...
Especially politics stuff.
Yeah. Give them a copy of my driver's license and then ask questions about the neighborhood I live in. And then they had to send me this code that is submit that I was 100%. Yes, that's where I live. That's who I am.
Yeah.
Going door to door, doing the forums, participating with people like you who invite us in. The signs, I paid for a newspaper ad that'll come out on the 29th.
Okay.
Those are a lot more expensive than I thought they were going to be.
You're burning money on this and you might not even win.
And then hopefully by word of mouth, people can get out there and hopefully I'm not getting votes from people who just go, oh, he's the last sign I saw, we'll go with him.
Yeah, I that's why I initiated this because I was like, a sign means nothing to me. So it's like, who are these people actually? So that's why we're doing this right now.
So, and I am glad that at least the news has finally started talking about us. I was a little shocked that they didn't talk about us a little sooner. Like, hey, the election's coming up. Are we going to at least let people know that we're around the area?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like, come on, news, step it up. I think maybe they were looking at me and they're like, freaking Arnell is, putting in more effort than us. But I just wanted to kind of see who everybody was, so that way people could be educated and so forth. Is this your first time running?
Very first time. I've never run for an office before.
Okay. All right. And I guess, do you have any kind of background other than, your family is all participating? Have you ever done anything else where, you're making these, because you're going to be making decisions about a $77 million budget essentially, and whatever else kind of comes up and so forth,
So the only thing I'm involved in that has similar meetings like city council would be I'm a member of the Freemasons.
Okay.
So when our meetings happen once a month, they're very similar to how council meetings run.
What is that? I have never heard of this.
You don't know what the Freemasons are?
No, I have no, like, what is this?
It's just fraternity. So
It's like a fraternity?
Yeah, some people think it's the Illuminati.
Yeah, I
taking
was
over
like,
the world.
what is this?
So usually you see it like that symbol. If
Okay.
you've seen that, that's what
I think I
Freemasons
have
are.
seen that symbol. Yeah.
So they used to be everywhere. They've kind of died off a little bit because the older guys weren't bringing in younger guys to kind of keep it going. But their meetings are kind of similar where there's someone that leads the meeting and there's a treasurer and a secretary, and it's very structured. So that kind of gives you practice on how to run a meeting and other things in your life.
Yeah. I've been, trying to get myself a little bit educated of how like a city council runs as well. Every time I talk to somebody, I'm like questioning them, like, how does this work? How does that work?
And
and so forth.
It's funny because a lot of people don't know, even the ones that have lived here for years don't know how Twin Falls is different than a lot of cities in Idaho.
Yeah. I guess, what would you say, like, have you learned anything with going to so many of these city council meetings? Because you're regular there, right? So maybe like kind of like educate me as well, and I guess the audience, like typically like what happens, how does that all work if you can, I guess.
Okay. Well, all the meetings always start at 5:00. I know
Mondays.
it's not the most convenient time.
Horrible time. If people are at work.
But yeah, so they start at 5. It's also recorded. I'm not a fan of how it's recorded though, because sometimes whoever company they're going through, that crashes if too many people are watching at the same time.
I hate it too. I want it on YouTube.
And so they'll also always post the agenda before the meeting. But you have to.
Where does this agenda come from?
Usually it's through the city manager.
Yeah.
That's got a preset
Of things
to do. Sometimes there's a department head that needs to make a presentation or request through the city,
like Parks and Rec or something like that.
Buy
Wants
something
to
or do something. Sometimes there's a local organization that wants to have an event. So like Oktoberfest, that would have been something that they had to request the city to allow to happen. Sometimes there'll be concerned citizens all come in for the general statement part of the meeting.
Yeah, what time
And
does that happen?
That's always towards the end.
So like
Depends on how fast the meeting goes. So
Yeah.
I've been there where sometimes it's within the first 15 minutes. If they've just been able to go boom, boom, boom straight through the meeting, and then
so you can't just show up at 5:45 and like I have my two.
Because there are some people that do. They show up like 5:30, 5:40, and then they go, "What? It's over already?" Because they're so used to it going maybe an hour long.
Yeah.
But if there's like a public forum where you do get to come and speak on something that has to have a public debate, those always start at 6:00. Excuse me. And those are the ones where you'll see the signs in the random parts of town that say, "Hey, there'll be a public meeting or public information."
Yeah.
Some big purchase the city's going to do or some big project the city's going to do.
Meeting. Yeah, they always put those signs, but I don't feel like people go to them.
I know, because they have a little thing where you can go grab information, I guess, but they're always in the most awkward areas to stop and see what the meeting is about.
Yeah. I mean, it almost kind of feels like somebody should like give a recap of like what happened and what approved, where we're at with things.
Yeah, and then a few times there's some meetings where they feel almost redundant because they have to have sometimes before a city can do something, it has to have 3 readings of what they're going to do. So
really?
So you hear the same thing 3 times in a row before you get to finally say, okay, we can move on to the next topic.
Wow.
Same with those budget meetings. For every meeting, there were some parts that was almost the exact repeat. So you almost heard the same information 8, 9 times the same time before you got to the new stuff.
Yeah.
Just to give an update for people who might be finally tuning in. But anyway, so the meetings, they go 5:00, do the Pledge of Allegiance. After the Pledge of Allegiance, then they'll go through any proclamations or approvals for like paying off the monthly budgets, make sure the bills are paid, people getting their income checks, all that fun stuff. Then if there's maybe an award they have to give out, or they're declaring a day of something in Twin, they handle that.
How could I get a hair nail day?
Well, you could apply and see if they do anything.
They're like, no.
And then they'll go into things that have to be discussed or voted on. Those are usually the agenda items. And then once those are done, they'll do the general comments from the audience if people want to do it. And you usually get about a 3-minute time limit if you decide you want to get up and speak. But if you're speaking, it has to be over anything that was not on the agenda already voted on.
How can I get something on the agenda, I guess?
You have to email the city manager, or sometimes you can even email the councilman, and then they can forward that to whoever needs to get the information to be on the agenda.
Agenda
They're
itself.
pretty well at emailing people back pretty quick.
Gotcha.
And then at the end, if there's any executive sessions, they will go to that. And the executive sessions are usually to deal with some sort of complaint or maybe a firing of somebody, etc.
Gotcha. Has there any been like, you're like, oh man, this is some juicy stuff here. I'm glad I'm here today.
Sometimes it's cool to be there to see a new police officer sworn in.
Do they get tasered there? Like, do you know?
No. That happens out there.
We should move that. We should move that to like the city council meeting there, and then people would totally come down to see that happen.
Same with firefighters. Cool to see a new one get hired, and then the promotions.
Yeah.
It was really cool to be there. There was one of the firefighters. He's actually the fire. Is it the fire marshal that investigates fires? Yeah, fire marshal. He didn't realize he was being selected for some award. They kind of lied to him to get him there, so he was there, and then he got this award, and he was very surprised.
He was very surprised.
Yes.
It's like, we got an award for you. You're so
you
cool.
guys tricked me. Then sometimes there's some special celebrations or events that the city council gets to participate in. The current mayor was really into some competition to get the most steps, like
who can get the most steps,
competing against other mayors around the town on
mayors and maybe even city council too.
Yeah.
I think I remember Sean was doing that. He was walking a lot, running or something. I don't know, get these steps in or something.
Yeah, so there's some random things like that the council gets to participate in. I don't think it was fun for some of them when we had some of the protests going on.
Oh, yeah, they probably did not like that.
But those were kind of interesting to see reactions.
Were you at those too? They're like, this is like, who are you guys?
The one I was not at, I was trying to watch it from the camera because there were so many people there you couldn't get a seat.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
It was when they were going over the mask mandates.
Oh, yeah, it was full.
But then watching that from home, there were so many people watching it kept crashing, so they had to whenever the system crashes, they have to stop the meeting until the system gets rebooted, and so it is being recorded live. So.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's there's sometimes you're probably like, who are you guys? You guys never show up to this, you know?
And you notice when there's someone new if you've been a regular attendee because it's very bare and open.
Very bare. What would you say would be a good way to attract people to come down to more? Because like you kind of want citizens to be involved in this as much as possible. I feel like, and I feel like almost kind of like I don't think it's a good idea to just not have that many people there. What would be a good way of trying to get people attracted to come there and kind of participate, I guess?
Probably the easiest one, and it would be more inconvenient for the councilman, but to just change the meeting time to something maybe like 6:30.
Yeah.
To give people time to get off and have some dinner and then come participate.
Yeah,
I know
true.
a lot of civic organizations, they usually start at 7.
Yeah. Hey, let's move at 7.
But that is a time. That is a dedication of time if you're going to do that, because that could be a really long night depending on what you got to get through.
Yeah. I think these people in city council, they've got lives as well, so they want to be back home at 6 o'clock too. They don't want to, you don't want to be there, because this is not your guys' full-time job.
Correct.
Most people, like, I have a full-time job, and at 5 o'clock, I'll go do this.
Yeah, so then it's part-time for the councilman, but then the people working with the council, that's their full-time gig, and so they'll be staying there past their regular 8 hours.
They probably would hate that, too.
Yeah,
so the thing is, like, there is no good time.
Yeah, so someone's going to be inconvenienced.
Yeah, somebody's going to be inconvenienced.
So...
we'll just keep it at 5 and nice try on that.
That's one of those give and takes, I guess.
Yeah, it's like 5 is the latest we can push it to. Come on, what do you want me to do?
It's better than some of the things that meet in town that meet at like 1 or noon.
Yeah, nobody's can get off like midday.
Yeah, no one's going to a planning and zoning meeting at noon.
No.
Same with the art commission at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There's not very convenient meeting times.
Yeah, it's kind of like you want to have these meetings, but then you don't want to be inconvenienced too much. So it's kind of like, what do you do? I had this crazy idea, okay, of how to get people there. And it was, okay, hear me out on this. This is going to sound crazy, like super crazy. Every Monday, we're going to give out a free Tesla.
Oh, okay, you're gonna do the Oprah thing.
Yeah.
You get a car. You get a car. You get a car.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
imagine how many people would be showing up if you guys are just giving out a Tesla away every Monday, you know?
Oh, that would get so expensive so fast.
Well, you
though.
know, hey, we carve out this section in the budget where we basically allocate all of these Teslas, right?
Yeah.
And then you would have people packed every day. Everybody would be attending the meetings and so forth. Free Teslas. Who wants it? You know, that would be amazing. I don't know. Hilarious. But let's do it though.
Since we're on that topic, I think other people talk about like how do you get more people to vote?
Yeah.
Because I think on average we get about 5,000 ish votes around this time during the non-presidential years. I don't know how to solve that one either.
Yeah, 5,000 people get to decide city council essentially,
Yeah.
right? And then that 5,000 doesn't even typically, not one candidate gets all 5,000 votes. It's basically like maybe one gets like 1,000, it's like, or 1,200. So basically all you got to do is convince maybe 1,200 people to go ahead and vote for you.
I've been
essentially.
told the target number is about 1,500.
Boom, there you go. It's easy. I have 14,000 followers on Facebook, I should just be like, hey, everybody, vote this way. But I don't really post on Facebook anymore. I just only post on YouTube. I've moved away from Facebook and moved to YouTube itself. And it's a whole different beast on there trying to grow on YouTube itself. It's very slow paced. Let me direct our attention here back to some of these questions. So, but anyways, back to what you were saying. So you have no idea how to get more people to vote for the.
Well, there's some maybe extreme ideas I've heard.
What kind of stuff have you heard?
Oh, maybe change the election day from a Tuesday to maybe a Saturday.
Oh, that would be good.
People
Yeah.
have the day off.
Yes. Let's do that. That's not why is that an extreme?
Because it's just tradition to have it on a Tuesday, the
Oh,
first
really?
Tuesday after the first Monday in November, and so I guess a lot of people don't like changing tradition.
People don't have time to go vote on a Tuesday because they're working on a Tuesday itself. It needs to be more kind of like convenient, I feel like, for sure.
Another idea is making election day like a holiday, so everyone gets the day off to go vote.
Yeah, we need that for presidential election as well. It's like, why are we not doing that?
And then some people suggested, well, let's just make it a law where you have to vote.
You have to vote.
So
Yeah, I don't think that would run.
I don't think that would roll.
That
either.
would not roll. It's
Yeah.
like you're forcing me to vote
Yeah.
on somebody, because people would be like, I don't know who these people are. How can you make me do something if I don't know who these people are? It's like people have to take the initiative and want to know who they're putting people in.
And that takes work. And unfortunately, my generation and the kids that I'm teaching, they want that instant, and it takes work to look somebody up.
Yeah, it does. It's like people have that. I feel like people, what they're doing now is they're looking up your guys' names on Google and seeing any kind of information that they can find.
I think most of us, they can find something about us on Google. I haven't Googled myself in quite a while.
It's like check yourself, make sure everything's good on there. You're like, what is this? College days, delete. So I guess going back to some of these questions, because like I said, we're gonna go back to these questions. You might have probably heard some of these if you listen to the other podcasts or so forth. I'm trying to pick out the best question right now. I'm looking at it and I'm like, which one do I want to kind of start off here with? And again, going back to the question I asked you earlier, which is what makes you a better candidate than the people that are currently running? Because I don't know anybody that's on seat number one. So do you know anybody on seat number one?
I've met all of them.
You met all of them?
Yeah. And they've all got different qualifications that I think would make them probably good candidates. You got one that's currently on the Planning and Zoning Board, which is kind of a stepping stone historically for people to be on the council because they're kind of already aware of what's going on in the town. You got one that's Twin Falls Canal Company. I believe he's an engineer.
Okay.
So he knows what's going on with our water resources and relationship with the city. You got one that's a realtor, which is kind of an important gig right now in Twin.
Yeah, sell, you know.
And then one's got some prior military experience. And
That's all seat number 1. How many people are in seat 1 running? Was there like 4?
5 total.
5 people
so you
in
got,
total?
Yeah, so you got 9 people to pick from total in this election.
Oh my God. I don't know how people are going to make a good decision. This is going to be kind of tough for them. What do you think people are looking for a good candidate?
Oh, I think they just want someone that's honest. I've tried to make it my mission if people ask me questions, no matter how extreme or personal the questions are, I'll give them an answer. They just might not like the answer they get.
Yeah, he's like, it is what it is.
And that's been the hardest part, getting used to people not liking you just because you don't have the same opinion as them. Or some people, they'll ask you one thing. If it's the correct answer, they say, okay, I'm voting for you. If it's the wrong answer, then the door's getting shut in your face.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
So you've been doing door-to-door marketing itself. How does that what kind of people have you been meeting, and what kind of questions would they typically ask you?
So I took the advice of one of the current councilmen and went down to the Twin Falls County West building and to the election area and got data on who has consecutively voted in the non-presidential years.
You're giving like secrets away here for these other candidates.
It works.
They're going to be like, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, it was $20 to get the list of names, basically. And then it's an Excel spreadsheet, so I limited it down to...
It's a really good, smart way of doing this.
You can limit it down to age range. You can limit it down, you can have it alphabetized, know what street everybody's on. So I did that. I alphabetized by street so I can know which streets have the most voters.
Yeah.
Because it's a big town.
Yeah.
I mean, some people don't consider it a big town, but it's a big town if you're going to hit it by yourself and want to get the most bang for your buck.
Yeah.
And so I used that to pick which neighborhoods I went.
Yeah, and you just go door to door and be like, hey, I'm running, vote for me. That's genius.
And then the problem is we've had so many new people moving in and people moving out, and unfortunately, people die.
Yeah, they're no longer there anymore.
You knock on the door expecting a certain voter, and they'll go, hey, we just moved here. Or, hey, we just moved here. And some people just move here and they're like, there are what we call the California refugees, I think is what some people are saying.
yeah, that's what they're called apparently. I had this whole animation about like people from California moving.
And then I met a few from Virginia, a couple from Colorado. And most of them have been pretty nice and they're excited to get in. A lot of people don't know as long as they've been here for 30 days, they can vote.
Oh, okay.
And so they thought they had to wait longer.
Oh no! You're like, well, you've been here 30 days. You're golden.
Yeah. And just educate people on where to go to get registered, and not knowing that they can register on the day of if they really wanted to.
Some of these people probably would feel intimidated going into somebody's like property and then act.
That first day, it's pretty intimidating because it's so unnatural to walk up to a house you don't know and see. Okay, who's going to be on the opposite side of that door? And it's really scary when it's really big dogs that come at the door.
Oh my God! Yeah,
and you're not knowing if it's just,
the dog is like I don't know you.
And then a few other things. I went to Oasis Stop and Go, and I asked them, like, how do I get permission to have signs on the gas station properties? Because there's a gas station all over town.
Yeah.
And so I had to fill out this form. They said you have to wait a month for them to review it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how many other candidates did that. I know, I think Leah did that too, because hers are in the same kind of areas as mine. And then just try to communicate with people who said, hey, this is an important person you need to go talk to them. I don't know if they're really important. But
okay.
These are people I've never heard of before. So they're like, go talk to them. Go talk to this person. Go talk to that person.
Yeah. What kind of questions did they ask you?
The most common ones, even though it's a nonpartisan race, a lot of people want to know if I'm a Republican or a Democrat.
Yeah. A lot of them are like making a decision about that itself. It's like, tell me if you're a Republican or a Democrat, and then I'll decide then. So
I'm a Republican, and then some people will go, okay, that's a good answer, or some people say, I'm not voting for you, and then that's the end of the conversation. The next question I usually get is, do I shoot guns or not? And then, so yeah, I have shotguns.
Yeah, it's a
and
lot
then
of fun.
That'll be another one of like, okay, we're good now, or another shutting the door.
Oh, really? People are really like, have a nice day. You've not meet my criteria. That's interesting. They need to get to know you. This is what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah, and some people, it's a real quick conversation, maybe 30 seconds tops, and then some people, they want to talk to you for half an hour. And then you want to be polite, but you don't want to be rude, and then you want to say, hey,
I got to go to this other house.
Yeah, I got other doors I got to get to. I can't just spend all day with you.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, because you don't want to be like rude and be like, I gotta go, because that always kind of makes it so like, I'm not voting for this guy. He didn't talk to me.
And then sometimes when I tell them what I do for a living, when I teach, they find out I'm a government teacher. Then it's usually the older people. I'll say, "Are you teaching the correct government?" And then that opens a whole nother.
My God, this would be so interesting, going door to door, talking to different people, because like you get to like really see the whole town essentially. Like the different types of people that we have.
Yeah, and I try to space it out on what areas of town I want to hit. So I've gone to the northeast side of town, the northwest side of town, kind of central in the old downtown area, south side, and then kind of sometimes I'll drive by a neighborhood and go, okay, let's try this one, see what happens.
Yeah.
Especially the new neighborhoods that weren't here 2 years ago. Try to hit those areas and see what I can find.
Hit those. Yeah, I mean, you only got to convince, like you said, 1,500 people. That's it.
And there are some people who say, well, you're out here going door to door, so you got my vote. And I know other candidates are doing that too. So
yeah, I didn't know anybody that's doing that. I think like you're the first person that I've talked to that said like that's their strategy. But the thing is, like, I never asked anybody else if they were doing that.
And then, well, the guy that you're going to talk to next, Mr. Allred, I've seen him around town the last couple of days. He's been standing on corners waving a flag, telling "honk for freedom."
Oh, really?
So it's a way to get attention. Yeah. I guess you got to.
I've not seen this guy doing that, so it's not a crazy person waving a flag. It's just some guy that's trying to run for city council.
He's got his sign with him, say "vote for Mr. Allred." So I guess you got to do what you got to do to get people to notice you.
Yeah. You really, these people like start driving around with some kind of like, get a trailer, put your name on it.
Yeah, there's some that've gotten magnets for their cars, and then they turn their personal vehicles into a mobile billboard.
Billboard that you're just driving around. Yeah, you should totally get like one of those trailers that make a sign and just drive it around Twin Falls. It's like, that's how Joey Bravo, Joey Bravo from 99 The Buzz, because that was like an election kind of thing, who can be on the radio. So they had this like, who gets the most votes.
Oh, I had no idea about that.
That's how they did that. Back in the day, they had like kind of almost like, let's see who's going to get the most votes. And then I think he was like driving around with like, now he's like a DJ. He really wanted to be a DJ, I guess.
Yeah. But I want to go back. I don't feel like I answered one of your questions on why they should vote for me.
Yeah. People want to know the why.
Well, I'm running for starters. There's a lot of people that complain about who's voting, or who's running, but they don't put their name out there for people to vote for them.
Yeah.
And it takes some guts to put yourself out there, because you're going to be asked questions that either A, you're not prepared for, or B, you think have nothing to do with the city, but people want an answer anyway. And it takes some skill to get some thick skin to not be upset that people are angry with you and whatnot. And so vote for me because I'm up to date on city issues. I'm educated. I started my master's program to be a principal. So I do have some future leadership qualities I'll be bringing to the table. So
that's cool. Yeah. I mean, like, it's definitely, it seems like you're a type of guy where you're going to give people an answer, even if they don't like it, because you're just like truthful, basically. It's like, this is the answer.
I've been told I'm too honest for my own good.
You're like, you're just too honest.
Yeah.
Too honest. Well, that's I mean, if somebody really wants somebody that's honest, I mean, I would think you would be like a great candidate itself, Do you have like if you were to get elected, is there anything like in particular you would want to be like working on, trying to make happen and so forth? Any kind of plans? Like you're watching this sometimes spectate, and then you're like, man, I wish they kind of did something about this.
Just being more involved with the street department to help them get the funding they need to manage the roads and redo some of our intersections. They're currently doing that. I didn't realize there was 49 lighted intersections in Twin Falls.
Yeah.
And they're changing out all the sensors to try and help with the flow of traffic. But on the budget, I saw that they had a significant decrease this last budget from their previous budget.
Yeah.
So I think I missed that meeting to explain why.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. And then another big one that I would like to have a discussion about after teaching from home and several students trying to learn from home online, there's an internet shortage in our area, at least high quality internet.
Oh yeah, like we need to say, well, ideally, what would be like, imagine having like Google Fiber here. Or
Well, I would
something like
love
that, or-
fiber optic, and there's a few towns out there that have figured out ways to do it without depending on companies to do it for you. So Amen, Idaho is kind of the model for cities that want to do this, where they offer internet as a city utility line. So you have individual neighborhoods vote if they want to have fiber optic lines installed, and then they can pay for it on a monthly basis or a one lump sum while they're installing. But then it's more expensive if you don't want to have it installed. Then you can have it installed later.
Yeah, how
anyways.
fast would that internet be? Like 1,000 megabits per second or
Oh,
something?
fiber
or-
optic is so nice if we could get it. You're talking over 200 gigabytes.
Oh man, yeah, it's like,
It's way faster than I think my fastest I could get at my house was 100 gigabytes.
yeah. I'm happy with that.
No,
100.
100 megabytes, not
100.
gigabytes.
Yeah,
megabytes.
Yeah, so if we can go over 100, oh heck yeah, I'm on
But-
board on that.
But our newer neighborhoods already have it. It's the older neighborhoods
Ah,
that
the older
need to
neighborhoods.
get upgraded.
Gotcha. It's kind of like because you want everybody to have good internet,
And
basically.
people like it because it upgrades their property value, makes their houses more worth money.
Oh, okay.
So
Didn't know that.
yeah, it's a fun idea. There's several cities in Idaho doing it. So I'd like to have that discussion here in Twin Falls.
So basically, you like let's get the roads,
Get the roads, the
internet,
fiber optic,
fiber
idea.
optic.
We got a shortage on our police department, and well, and all the city services. They're all shorthanded right now, anyway. But from a police family, police going to be a focus to try and get as many officers we can and keep the ones we have.
Yeah.
And then meeting with the fire chief, we're going to need another fire station because there's parts of Twin that can't grow anymore unless we get another one.
Oh, so basically, kind of depends. Like this section needs a fire station so that we can get.
I believe it was response time. How fast can a fire react to that area?
Gotcha.
And then they're shorthanded too. Our guys are just really overworked right now. The amount of calls they get when they gave their yearly report, how many calls they get a day, I was just like, oh, that's got to be exhausting.
Yeah.
So,
What about growth for housing?
so I kind of researched into this on should a government do anything for housing. The answer some people might not like is maybe we should do nothing, because then you get into questions of should the city really be telling people what they can and can't build or where they can and can't live, because that opens all these different doors into different arguments. So kind of like low-income housing is like a popular phrase right now.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with that is what do you determine to be low income, and what is determined, well, you're low income, but you're not low income enough to qualify to live here.
You have
that
to be
sort of
really
thing.
low income to
Yeah.
qualify.
Other ones is we have a shortage of builders. The builders can only build so many houses a year.
Yeah, we definitely have a shortage of builders.
And
We need-
they only have so many workers to help on those projects. We got some builders that are denying projects just because they don't know when they're going to get to them.
yeah, it's like
And the other thing, unfortunately, you got people that are afraid to sell right now because they don't know if they sell their home, is there going to be a home I can move into or a home similar to what they already have. And then the other one that's kind of morbid, I guess, is our old people are living too long. They're not recycling their houses to the other people once they die. So, all those factors are kind of temporary. It'll even out eventually. I know a lot of people don't like hearing that.
Yeah.
And then maybe a little bit of a culture change in Twin where you don't get to buy a house at 18 and you do have to live at home a little bit longer before you can have a place of your own, etc. So,
Exactly. I mean, it kind of seems like we need more builders and more property to build houses on, essentially. But the thing is, like, what does city council have to do with any of that? You know, it's like the city council can't get builders to come here.
yeah, that's kind of not a well, it's not really a duty, I would say, of the city council, because theirs are kind of focused on, providing service, approving or not approving projects. I mean, yeah, they could approve more building, but again, you
planning
need
is
people
only
that-
says like, okay, but couldn't the city like a council say like, well, let's buy out all this land for development. Does city council ever buy something
So the city does buy land, but it's usually for like future park projects.
Oh, okay.
Something that all of the community gets to use.
Yeah, it's not like they're gonna be buying land for like houses. But
Yeah.
you guys build this.
But again, that opens more doors. Like, okay, the city becomes landlords.
Yeah. This is
Do you really want your city controlling where you can and can't live and your rent and who does and doesn't get to live there?
yeah.
It's all kinds of questions that need to be discussed and talked about.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Like, let's buy this land and then we'll sell it to builders and we'll get more builders in here. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, because that's taxpayer money. So do you really want to tell taxpayers, I'm taking your tax dollars to buy this land for somebody to live on?
Nah, exactly. That's not gonna fly. So basically, it's more like currently the city basically needs property owners that have like giant farm areas around Twin Falls to sell off to private builders, and then the builders then build lots on a subdivision or so forth, and those subdivisions get sold. Is there anything that City Council could do to try to promote more growth of builders in Twin Falls, or do you think that there's just a national shortage of builders everywhere in the U.S.?
I think right now what the U.S. is experiencing is people reevaluating where they want to work. A lot of people don't want to. Construction's hard work. You're in all kinds of different temperature and weather patterns, and it's abuse to your body. A lot of these older guys that are in their 60s that are still in the construction field, they're destroyed. They got a lot of medical issues.
I built 20 houses. I'm tired.
And you've got all kinds of different ways of making money now. A lot of kids now, they want to be, I think it's content creators. Is what they call
I'm a
themselves.
content creator. That's what I wanted. And then CSI wanted me to like do like this thing where like, hey, how about you come and present to kids or something and to be a content creator? I'm like, no, it's a tough world out there.
Some kids want to be, the kids I teach, which is a different clientele than what are at other schools. Some of them want to be, they want to go to Oregon and be a pot farmer.
A lot of them want to do that because there's
because apparently it's the green gold, the green oil. I guess.
It's a gold rush.
And then you got other ways of people making money. Some are going back to school. Some have found a computer job where they can stay at home and they don't have to be out.
Yeah, you're not doing any labor.
So it's an interesting time where we have new jobs being created that people didn't think we'd have before, and the old jobs are like, come on, where are you
at? Yeah. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And it's like not up to city council to make a decision on.
You can't really force people to work. You can't say this population over here, you have to learn to become this job.
Yeah, exactly. That's very true. Maybe my brain is always like, we need a solution. So my brain is always like, maybe CSI needs to try to make construction look like an amazing job. But that's tough to do. It's almost impossible.
But there are companies out there that are trying to help with that. There's some interesting foreign companies out there that are trying to help with the labor shortage. Like, for example, there's a robotics company in Japan because they have the largest elderly population and they don't have enough people being born to replace them to fill the jobs they've left. Yeah. To try and get more automation in the construction field.
Automation. Let's 3D print a house.
Well, yeah, there's some people that really want to do that one day.
Yeah, and then you don't need people. Then you basically just push a button and then you have the material.
Yeah, so the next couple decades are going to be interesting in the construction field on what you'll have to as a person doing versus something else doing.
Yeah. That's very interesting. Yeah. Do you ever, I was talking to somebody else, do you ever look at ordinances?
Yeah, there's some interesting ones out there.
Yeah.
I just recently accidentally broke one. I got called by our ordinance officers to be informed, hey, one of your signs is in an illegal area. So I had to go fix that one.
Like, you're breaking an ordinance. How does that even work? Can you not just place signs anywhere?
Apparently it's called right of way, so it has to be 10 feet from the road, but unless it's on someone's personal property. But sometimes where I think property is and where the road right of way is, there's a mix there. So I had to go move it, unfortunately.
Who the heck is this ordinance person that's driving around and like
Yeah, so our ordinance officers recently, I believe they're part of the police department now. They're not their own separate thing anymore.
Really? It's part
Yeah.
of the police department
Yeah,
itself?
so they actually work with the police department, but they do go around to try and enforce ordinances. So there's some interesting ones out there. Some,
Yeah.
like I like educating my students over during the winter. There's an ordinance where you have to keep your sidewalk clear.
No, really?
Yeah, because if someone slips and falls on your sidewalk, you're getting sued.
Oh, yeah,
So-
yeah, you could. Yeah, that's interesting. There's so many of them. What would you say for people like, let's get rid of these? Would you be like open to getting rid of some of these so that way we have like and I don't think even people are even educated about ordinances as well.
Well, it's
either.
not a very user-friendly site on the city website either to go through the ordinances.
It's like a tree system.
Yeah, it's like an old file system where
Yeah.
it's not, you can't click here, click here. It's go through this file. Okay. Go through that file. Okay. What does this ordinance mean? Because
Yeah.
you got to read almost every individual one to get a sense of what that section's about.
Yeah, I was reading some of them and it's like these are great.
And some are old. Some are there for a reason. Like,
some of them are not even enforced though.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, they're not enforced. So I feel like I get away with some ordinance. I'm like, because I've read a lot of them. I'm like, I'm getting away with an ordinance, and nobody's doing
one
this.
my students get away with the most, and it's unless they're really obnoxious with it, is what they like to modify their cars to be as loud as possible.
Yeah, mufflers.
And I have to inform them, there is a city ordinance about, being too loud with your car.
yeah, probably some kind of decibel.
But yeah, there's not enough enforcement officers, unfortunately. I think
No.
we have 3, maybe. I think it's 3 ordinance enforcement officers. So we kind of need more if they want to tackle a lot more that's in the city.
What about like kind of almost kind of like a double standard on some of these things where like there's these ordinances, but like there's no ordinances on like boarded up windows and stuff like that.
Abandoned properties
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, how does that make sense? I guess
Well, I think it makes sense because
on private property.
yeah,
you know what I
because
mean?
you're expecting that property owner to take care of the property. So if it's an abandoned property, there is no property owner. So can you enforce law on something that doesn't have an owner? I guess.
Yeah. Well, typically, all properties aren't abandoned. I don't know any abandoned properties fully
Yeah,
because
there's a
they pay
bank that owns it, basically.
bank that owns it. But like, shouldn't if it's a property owned by the bank, then I have no problem of them, getting it boarded up. Or
I think
so
it's
forth.
just because, like you said, a lot of people don't complain to the ordinance officer, and then the ordinance officer can go and file their paperwork to make the person have to fix what's being complained about.
Yeah.
So that's
really
all
not
I have
really-
on that one.
Yeah, I remember even we had this crazy time where potholes were a giant problem.
Yeah, and then we had that guy. He went around and complained so much.
That was me.
That was you. Okay,
That was me.
So you made the city make the apps where they could report potholes.
Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations.
There
that
you
was
go.
that was a fun thing.
Yeah, see, that was me. I went around and I was like, look at these potholes.
Yeah. So I laughed when they made the app so you could report potholes to the city. So they could
see,
get
look at that,
fixed.
people. You just have to like have a giant audience and complain, and you'll get stuff where people can go ahead and But that was a good thing, obviously. I think there needs to be more people like me where they're like, let's fix some of these problems. Essentially, that's amazing. That's hilarious. Do you see anything that you think needs a little bit more attention by city council itself? Like maybe like downtown, more downtown stuff. Like, here's the thing. Like, it seems like, we're like out, not a lot of people like when I say this, like Boise, a lot of times does things better than we do, and they have cooler stuff happening over there and so forth. Right. So, why is it so hard for us to do cool stuff?
Part of that might be resources. Boise's got significant more
I don't know what their
population than we do.
budget is.
So their budget's probably bigger.
Yeah.
You probably have more businesses willing to cooperate to set events up downtown. Their downtown's a lot bigger than ours too.
Yeah.
What I would like to see downtown, there seems to be almost like a line where when we were renovating downtown that
Yeah, it's
we
like-
kind of stopped.
Yeah.
And then that's where all the activity is, and it never kind of goes past these 2 points. I mean, there's businesses beyond those 2 points, but
Yeah.
a lot of people don't go to those areas.
Mm-hmm.
I made a suggestion at the last forum off of Kimberly Road. There's a lot of businesses over there, buildings that you're talking about that are abandoned that kind of make that area of town not look very inviting.
No.
Same over by the old hospital, Twin Falls County West. There's a lot of buildings out there that aren't being used. That's kind of just abandoned out there. So those are kind of some areas I think could use some TLC.
Yeah.
We got some local areas, local people that are trying to renovate parts of town. I believe there's a couple historical commissions being made by people that live in the old downtown, want to keep the houses looking nice from their historical period. So it's going to take effort from not only the council, but also local residents. So again, bring the attention to the issue, and then hopefully something gets done with the issue.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm just still thinking about those potholes.
The worst one I think was over by the DI in Gold's Gym, where you take a right like you were going to go.
Oh, yeah.
To,
I didn't even get there. There was a giant one, and then I recorded people going over it, and it's like you could see their whole shock system just go pop, pop,
there was one there where if it rained hard enough, it would fill that in.
Yeah.
And so you'd forget there was a pothole there. If you hit it fast enough, you would hear that cringe sound of your car scraping against the bottom of the road.
I lost I had like a Mitsubishi Eclipse, right, back in the day, and I hit one of these potholes. And something flew off. It damaged my bumper or so forth. So I thought, well, maybe I'll go fill out a form, and because the city should then cover it or so forth.
Nope.
They didn't cover it. They're like, you should have been following the speed limit. I'm like, I was. It was a giant pothole.
Yeah, it's kind of written as you take the risk of driving on the road.
You take the risk on driving the road. Why do we even have that form then? Yeah. Hilarious. I guess. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess basically what I'm trying to say is like I want, and again, I don't know how city council can go ahead and do this. Would be like I want them to do more cool stuff. You know, make it so like this is the city where cool stuff happens. You know, and and it's kind of like how do we do that?
Well, I think the city's trying to plan cool stuff. It's just unfortunately that always takes time, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe 5 years down the road. And some people get so irritated on how long that takes.
Instant. We need instant.
Other things the city does, they try to get, our city's pretty famous for trying to get organizations to kind of do half of the work. So for example, the pickleball courts that our senior citizens really like to use.
Yeah, I don't know what pickleball is. I've heard somebody talk about pickleballs. I was like, what is this pickleball
So
stuff?
it's kind of like tennis mixed with table tennis, where you have a little racket with a wiffle ball, but you're on like a mini tennis court almost, and so it's your same rules basically.
I think Rupert has pickleball courts. It's crazy that they're beating us in some of these things, which is like, what, Rupert?
So the city told the people that won pickleball to create their own little organization and do some fundraising, and then come to the city with, okay, we've collected this much money. Can you match us? And the city does that a lot, where there'll be a group coming, okay, here's some money, here's what we can do. Will you match us? Or at least work with us on it. Yeah. And the city's been pretty good at doing that.
Does the city have like a budget that it can allocate to do something like that, for like where the budget it has some room to go ahead and allow that to happen?
I believe there is a part in the budget where it's like reserves, basically, where they can use it. They've saved it just in case something in the budget becomes more expensive than they thought it would. Yeah. But the council does have a part in the budget where they can allocate funds for something that wasn't originally on the budget that they voted for.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I had no idea about that. Do you see the budget being wasted anywhere, or do you think it's fairly like where it should be at?
Other than the cut to the street department, I need to find the video for that meeting so I can hear why their budget was cut. I think it's pretty good. I know our city likes to have some governments call it a rainy day fund, where you try to save a large chunk of money that you're not going to spend just in case something catastrophic happens you have to pay for. Yeah. That's one I support, but I don't see anything on that budget that surprised me as far as cost is too much or anything like that.
Gotcha. Well, that's because like again, I don't know we need to do this whole app thing again where we go into the have a better representation of the budget as well. I've been constantly saying that as well.
Well, if it could just be more user friendly. Nobody wants to go through 260 pages.
No.
They want just here's a summary, and then if you want to get in the detailed stuff, here's the detailed stuff. But I want just dumb it down for me, would you?
Yeah, we need to almost kind of make it like it's like explain it to like a 5-year-old kid.
What is it? Smarter than a 5th grader?
Yeah, it's like explain it to me like I'm in 5th grade or something like that. I think there's even like a Reddit forum about that. Just simplify things for me. And what do you think about we currently have like housing is through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Jobs. People don't want to work for some of these jobs itself, and then you're getting more people from California coming in, and they're just adding to the traffic. Is there anything we can do about the congestion of traffic itself?
Well, what sucks with traffic in Twin is that we have so many roads that have different jurisdictional control. So some roads are city roads, some roads are county roads, some roads are state roads.
How's that possible?
And determining on who controls what determines what you can and can't do at those roads. So like a lot of people complain about Blue Lakes.
Yeah.
Blue Lakes is a state road.
Is it?
You have to get permission from the state to do anything to Blue Lakes.
Oh, I had no idea about that.
Yeah, the city kind of manages it with maintenance and whatnot, and assists the state on different projects. But yeah, that's a state road. You have to get permission. Same with the city's been trying for years to try and get rid of the one-ways on the 2 seconds to make those for both-way traffic. But the problem with that is those are truck routes, and so you'd have to try to find a way in Twin Falls to redirect the truck routes so that you could take control of those 2 seconds.
So you're talking about that 2 seconds, converting that into like individual ones, but they can't do it because it's a truck route. The trucks need to get out of there.
Because that would go back to your earlier statement about expanding downtown, because there's a lot of stuff you can't do on the seconds because of the flow of traffic going a single direction.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, we already have trucks being diverted around Twin Falls as soon as they come in itself.
Yeah, off pole line
going off that area. So, I mean, I don't know how that second could be a truck line.
And there is talk of another bridge, but that's going to be one that we have to have the feds help us with because it's just such an expensive budget
millions
item.
of dollars to build a bridge. And then even like the bridge stuff, like the bridge is owned by like the state or like a ITD or something like that. And then it's like, there's so many things happening, it's like it gets a little bit complicated and stuff like that. But you have any kind of ideas or things? Because I know that they're going to be getting some money for like buses or something.
Yeah, so there's a state law that went into effect after the census said that we have officially gone over 50,000 full-time residents.
Yeah.
So that is public busing. I spoke to the president of CSI because they're the ones that have been doing the Trans 4 buses that you've seen around town. They're going to finish out next year, and the city will have to take over with public transportation. I don't know if that's buses. It probably will be, but then you have to decide where are those buses going to be stopping, picking up.
How are you going to stop on Blue Lakes?
So you'd have to create bus stops. I know there's going to be a study probably done to determine where would be the best location to pick people off and drop them off. I've heard some interesting suggestions from people that maybe we do a contract with Uber and we just have people Uber all over town for that.
I think Leah was saying something like that.
I don't know if that'll work or not.
Yeah, that's not going to work. I don't know. It's like a private company pretty much.
I know some cities, they do a carpool program where you get kind of a financial benefit if you carpool to work instead of driving your own vehicle.
Yeah.
That could be an option too. But yeah, for our area, because we have so many people coming in during the workday from neighboring towns, I believe we're negotiating with the neighboring towns to help pay for all of that since it's their residents that kind of help upgrade our numbers during the workday to create all that congestion.
Yeah, it's...
There's been some interesting talk on maybe negotiating with CSI to make Fillmore all the way through to try and divert traffic off of Blue Lakes, kind of like how Locust does already. But I don't know how realistic that one is.
Yeah,
so.
It's Blue Lakes is just getting packed and packed and packed. And the thing is, like, there's no simple solution to any of these things at all, I would say. What else? What else do you think people need to kind of know about you, I guess?
So I've lived in Twin for 7 years now. So I'm kind of aware.
Where are you originally from?
I'm from Mountain Home, Idaho. So,
okay.
So I'm an Idaho boy. But because I went to school here for CSI, I loved the area and I did everything I could to get back here.
Yeah. What do you like to kind of do around here as well?
I think my favorite thing about Twin is just all the views we have around us. It's not that difficult to get out of the city and see something, or to go do something out in the county. There's always an event to go to in our area. I think we average on 2 events a week almost in the city or in the county in general.
Yeah.
And then just all the fun businesses we have to go to, the antique shops, the different restaurants.
Downtown,
Those sort of things. And then we're getting into the holiday season, so there'll be all the Halloween stuff soon. And then I love down the park when they decorate the trees for Christmas. Just see those massive trees covered in Christmas lights.
Yeah, I want the whole park pixel mapped. But I don't know if you know, pixel mapping is like where they can control the different LEDs.
Okay.
So that way, like every LED is like doing something cool, making it like almost kind of like a show. Because like a lot of people will just drive by it because it's just basic lights or so forth. But imagine like the whole park just kind of doing a show.
How about you get
the
drones that make different shapes with lights?
We had that.
Okay.
We had that. So Lights and Lasers, Go Out Local has those drones. And they can do all kinds of patterns and stuff like that stuff like that. It is amazing to see in person. I don't know.
Unfortunately, I've never gone to that.
You missed it. Yeah. Oh, man, I got to show you a video. It was so cool. Like it's like 150 drones all working together. And then they're like made like an Idaho sign. And then like says like support the troops and our local healthcare people. It was really cool. People loved it. They were like, yeah. It was actually the first drone show in Idaho itself, and we had it.
Cool.
We had it here, and that was pretty much primarily thanks to ICCU itself for making that happen, I believe. So there are companies that are making kind of cool stuff like that. It's like, I just want more of that.
Yeah, because you got like the First Fed Park on the north end of town.
Yeah, First Federal Bank. So banks are kind of like, they're like...
Well, it helps if you already have money. So.
Yeah, the banks are kind of like helping Twin Falls. Like, well, we've got, you guys want to do something cool? Well, we're going to help you out and so forth. So, but usually they're helping out like nonprofit organizations and stuff like that is who they're typically helping out. But yeah, cool stuff would be kind of like the main goal itself. Do you see? I know there was something about like a lot of people didn't like people building along the canyon rim.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were on that one. Did you attend that one? That one, oh my God. I pulled up that video recording. I was like, oh my God, these people are very passionate. I almost like took it and I almost posted it on my channel itself because they were really like passionate about that itself.
And I get that some people want to have the view as they're driving through town. It's not there anymore, so you can't go back.
Yeah.
And some people are moving to Twin that have never seen that view that people complained about. So it's kind of a moot point almost at this rate. But you have the trail that you can take to still get your view.
Yeah, the trail. You see the view and it's like, damn.
You just got to tell people stop going beyond the trail so our rescue team doesn't have to keep getting them off the edge of the canyon.
Yeah, people getting like, especially like new people getting stuck in the canyon somehow. It's like, I don't know.
And then, if you want to get more views, you can just get a kayak and go on the river that way.
Get your views. Go to Centennial, go to Shoshone Falls. Oh, they have it so now you can get a tour to Shoshone Falls. Like they'll drive you over there to the Pillar Falls, get your kayaks ready across the other side, and then just go there. I was almost like, the thing is like Shoshone Falls is like an attraction. It's like the second, it's taller than Niagara Falls.
It's the Niagara of the West.
The Niagara of the Wells. I'm like, of the Wells, but West, it's like, I feel like we need to take advantage of that and then just get more. And again, this is kind of coming from, because I work for Visit Southern Idaho. So basically it's kind of like, we need to take full advantage of Shoshone Falls to get more people there to go ahead and get people coming in and spending money in our local economy
Get
itself.
our own Made of the Mist boat.
Made of Mist. Yes, let's get that. Made of Mist. That would be amazing. At one point, I was like, let's get stairs to the bottom of Shoshone. I've been down there. I don't know if you've ever been down there.
I've not taken stairs down really close to it.
Well, there are stairs there, but it's like they're broken, so it's
super
like
dangerous. And
it's super dangerous. It's closed off. They don't want anybody going there. But I've walked the shoreline.
Okay.
So I walked the shoreline all the way to the end. And I have a super secret way of getting to the bottom, and I'm not telling people how to get there.
That's fine.
And I just get there, boom. But seeing it from the bottom, it's like a whole different experience. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
So, and again, the thing is like Parks and Rec owns that whole area down there. So like I like to see the city put a buttload of money into Shoshone Falls, make it easier and
My only complaint about that is the road access to get down
They're
there.
working on that, I think. They're working on the road so that, because there's that one curve or something like that. I think Parks and Rec has something happening where they're trying to figure out an easy way of, making it so people kind of get
because it's sketchy down there when we had those tour buses that would come down there before COVID hit.
Yeah.
And then trailers trying to get around that corner.
That road needs to be so much bigger itself. So I feel like the city for sure needs to put way more money into Shoshone Falls itself because it's a giant tourist attraction. And these people that are just tourists coming in, they're helping the local economy because they're going to stop, eat somewhere and things like that. So what do you think about, improving Shoshone Falls or making it way much cooler?
There's ways to do it. The problem is you have to weigh the pros and benefits of how much is Shoshone Falls making for the city versus how much are you putting in to potentially maybe make more money for the city. And I don't have that number memorized and how much this Shoshone Falls specifically made for the city of Twin Falls.
I think I have it. I think it's in the budget itself. It makes a pretty good decent amount of money itself. So I would say all of the money generated from Shoshone Falls, like the ticket passes or so forth, literally needs to be reinvested back into Shoshone Falls. Every penny of it.
Yeah. The problem is with most government stuff is that they
take that money, they just put it into the general fund.
You can't play favorites, so you have to.
No.
You have to spread the love.
No. So. We need the money generated from Shoshone Falls to fully go back into Shoshone Falls, and that basically means like giving it to the people that are attending the tickets, giving people that are doing the maintenance for it, and so forth. And that way you're basically taking it's like its own world right there, basically.
Well, and I wish there was a sign that says, okay, this is Shoshone Falls. We're not named after Shoshone Falls. We're named after Twin Falls, which is further down the road.
It's so confusing for people.
Yeah.
You know why it's named Shoshone Falls? Well, I don't know the exact reasoning, but my understanding is this. The city Shoshone? There's a train track there, right? So what would happen is back in the day, people would like take a train there, right? They would get off at Shoshone, right? And then they would take like a wagon and go from Shoshone all the way to Shoshone Falls.
Okay.
So that's, Shoshone Falls. So probably what ended up happening is, on the map, they probably labeled it Shoshone Falls, and then that's where they knew where they had to go, know? So that way they come here and check it out. So
Well,
I was
thanks
like,
for the story, because I've never looked into why it's called
that's
Shoshone Falls.
I figured it all out. I was like, that's why, because they were coming into Shoshone. Yeah, Twin Falls is named after those two falls by Idaho Power. But what's crazy is
one's dammed up.
Yeah. So it's like, who made that decision? Even though the city's named after, these two falls, we're just gonna cut this one off.
Got single
Idaho
falls.
Power, how dare you do that? Let's get that other falls going and get our name back. So I don't know. That's very interesting. Huh?
Yeah.
And then the only other thing that I always going to talk about is like the dog park. It's like I want them to fix the dog park and make it the best dog park ever, or maybe even make it so that other parks around Twin Falls have a dog park area. So that way, like you might not live nearby the dog park, but like each park has like a section
dog section.
dog section itself. So that way.
Droppings in areas where there shouldn't be droppings.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, but again, that's another Parks and Rec deal. Maybe I'll have Wendy Davis come on here, and then I'm like trying to picture like different things. I'm like, come on, just do this, please.
Well, the thing about the dog park is you don't even know it's the dog park until someone tells you, oh, that's the dog park, because you're expecting something bigger for dogs, and it's just this little tiny.
It's like a little, well, it was donated too. Yeah, it was like a donated park pretty much, and then the city just maintains it or something like that. So, I think this is good. I mean, like, do you have anything else that you want to kind of talk about? What are you hoping that happens from this podcast? I'm like, ideally, you want this to go viral, whole population sees this, and then like, maybe we should vote for this guy.
Well, I think the views, you have 400 subscribers on your YouTube page.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I have like 14,000 on Facebook, and then I just have like 400 on
So I would like at least maybe half of that to at least watch the video.
Hey, everybody watch this video.
Because I think that's how much is viewed Cutler's video. I think he's got about 200
Well,
views
the algorithm starts like slowly ramping it up, and then everybody that searches his name or so forth probably sees the YouTube video if they're looking it up or something like that. So Google kind of makes it so that people start searching you. It'll start showing them this video itself, which is. Again, it's kind of good for them, I feel like, because then you kind of get a little sense of who they are and so forth. Is there anything else that people need to know about you? Like this is kind of like my final one. It's like, vote for me. When's the voting happen? How do they make it happen? Just give them some instructions here. Like, if they really like you on this podcast, it's like, what should they do?
Okay. So early voting is open. That'll go until I think next week. You can go to Twin Falls County West, the old hospital. You'll go in there, and then they have all these signs saying this is where we go vote. Idaho lets you register to vote all the way up to the day of election. You do have to register, so you have to. If you haven't registered after you've moved, you have to re-register because your address has to match.
Yeah.
And then if you want to wait till election day, 'cause some people
they like to wait.
They don't want to go early vote. There's a map that the city has that tells you where your voting precinct is, what building you have to go to that's actually going to be able to submit your vote at. Then there'll be usually older ladies or older gentlemen working the tables with these long binders full of names.
Yeah.
You have to tell them who you are. You have to have your driver's license with you.
And they find you in the folder.
Make sure your address matches up and you are who you say you are. And then you're going to have to sign next to your name so nobody else can say they are you.
Yeah.
And then you get your paper. You get to go vote. They'll tell you not to.
And the voting thing is so easy because like there's only two things that you get to choose from. It's like who do you
bubbles.
want? Like two bubbles basically. All you gotta do is pick two bubbles.
And then there's this machine that you'll carry it over to, and they'll put it in the machine. And depending on the people working, they'll sometimes say, "What's your name?" And you'll tell them your name. They'll go, "So and so has officially voted." And then you'll get a little "I voted" sticker that people like take their selfies with.
Everybody's like, I voted. You gotta get that sticker. Otherwise, like, how dare you?
And then sometimes they get a little "I voted" pen that they let you keep to kind of advertise that as well. But it's not much to it. And then because we're so small, I believe the results will be announced November 3rd.
Yeah.
Because election day is November 2nd. That is a 12-hour voting window. So I believe it starts at 8 a.m. and goes all the way till 8 p.m.
Yeah. And they, like you said, they can early vote now?
Yeah, it's open from 8 to 5 at Twin Falls County West.
Yeah. And you just, the same process. You go over there.
In, have your identification.
And you just put two bubbles, people.
Two bubbles. They put it in a machine and you're done.
That is so easy. What is wrong with people not,
Just don't be that person waiting in line looking at the names going, I wonder who else should vote for while I'm waiting in line.
Yeah. Yep.
Some other, I guess the only other thing I would tell people if they like me, that I wish the city would have the council seats represent a geographic area.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah, imagine that.
Because I believe the current council, most of them all live on the north end of Twin Falls.
Yeah, imagine like you could split up Twin Falls into like a grid system. Like it would be almost kind of like the Hunger Games, you know? Like
so I live on the south end of Twin Falls, so if
Yeah.
I won, I would be bringing more attention to that area and issues that are facing that side of town.
interesting. That would be so cool. I like that idea. That's what you got. You know, I gotta say this. You're a very smart guy. You seem like you know what you're talking about. Like you know what's going on. You've been to all of these meetings. You're very interesting to talk to. And again, very educated as well. And I guess if anybody has questions for you about things, you said you're honest. So basically, you'll most likely go ahead and answer them. And so basically, they're either gonna see you knocking on their door, or if they want to go ahead and email you or ask you some questions. Is there anywhere they can kind of do that?
So I didn't buy a domain name. I've never purchased a
And
domain.
it's so easy. Let me
domain
tell
name
you how
before.
it's just go to bluehost.com and you
Okay.
just you get it all done right there. It's so
Okay.
easy to it's Bluehost. You get a website and a domain name.
Okay.
You know?
Well,
Just-
I used Google to build my website because they have their free Google Sites thing, and then I just made a QR code to try and get people to scan it, and it takes it right to my my page.
takes you to, so it's like a QR code and
Yeah.
takes you there.
So I don't know how well people will be able to see that.
Yeah,
but-
like, and again, for people that don't know how that works, is like, again, this is people that are watching this is like, I have never scanned a QR code. All you gotta do is click on your camera, right?
Camera
and then
app.
you basically like show it that, and it gives you like a link, and then that basically opens up this page itself, and then here's everything about your page and so forth, right?
Yeah, and I tried to not have too much on there, but not too little either.
Yeah. And does this give you an option where people can like send you questions or anything like that?
So I'm pretty sure I included an area on there to email me. I believe I have to look it up again, so I'm going to get out my phone.
Yeah,
Not
there's a
being rude.
lot of information about you here.
So I know the city website actually put up contact information for all the candidates. So there's an email on there for me.
You got an Instagram link, Facebook link, Twitter link, or something.
I gave them my link to my Google page, and then for my election email, I decided to go with Patterson for City Council at gmail.com.
Yeah,
That's
so-
going to be the easiest one to.
That's
to get
probably
to
the
me.
best way to get a hold of you and ask you about like, hey, what do you?
and
Would
emails
you
are
even
s-
go as far as like hey, how would you vote this way? So that because a lot of people want to know like,
There
how would
are,
you vote
and I
about
have
that?
gotten emails from people, and it's pretty easy to just quickly answer their questions.
Mm-hmm.
Some that just have one. Some will give me like I think the most I've gotten is 6 specific questions.
6 specific questions.
Yeah.
That way, they're like, I need to see if you align with my values and so forth.
And then I'm on Facebook too. People can find me Patterson for Twin Falls City Council that way.
Well, I think it's great that everybody can go ahead and ask you questions, because I think even watching these podcasts, some people might be like, well, why didn't you ask him this question? Well, now, really, if everybody has their, because the thing is, like, I'm pretty sure all of the other candidates will do the same exact thing. You can have your questions, shoot them an email, and
And I'm not going to answer the question in a way where I think you want, like how you want to hear it. I will give you the.
you won't
honest
give
answer.
you won't give a, you know what I don't like when people give you like that politic
Where they don't answer the question,
where
they
they
talk
don't answer
around
the
the question.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I hate that. It's like answer my question, or like don't even respond. Pretty
Or they'll
much.
say that's a great question. I'll have to consider that and get back to you. And then they never get back.
and they
to
never
you.
get back to you. Yeah, I hate that. Yeah, exactly.
So
so
but
that's
I'm-
awesome.
But I have no problem telling people I'm not educated enough on that to give you an opinion one way or the other.
Yeah, I had to like I couldn't find everybody's email first. I literally had to do a public request to go ahead and get you guys' emails, and maybe they put it up afterwards because they're like,
it was about a week and a half ago. We got
probably
contacted
because
by the city manager.
this is all the effect that I'm causing. I'm telling you,
Yeah, 'cause they said they've had a lot of public information requests, and so they finally put up on their website.
yeah, it's
to
like
get
how do
hold
we
of
get a hold of
candidates.
these candidates?
Yeah.
It's like, well, thank you, yeah, because like that's kind of like an obvious thing is like how do we get in touch with people and so forth. So yeah, I think again, if people just need to, it's so easy. You gotta be choosing 2 bubbles basically, like this group here or this group here. Watch the podcast, see who you like the best,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much it. I mean, like, and if you have any more questions, email the candidates, email you, and so forth, and see exactly where they're at.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you don't get like 1,500 emails now coming at you.
we'll
Or like
see.
you're like, well, I cannot handle 5,000 emails now. You know, because like if everybody emailed you, it would be like literally like 5,000 emails.
Be like that scene off of when Jim Carrey becomes God and he just says yes to everybody's prayer.
Yeah. You opened a can of worms here by saying like, y'all answer any of your guys' questions.
Yeah,
Good luck with that.
Nothing off topic. I'm fully aware of.
That's
that people
awesome.
wanna ask
And you were
questions.
like, yeah, I'll answer him. Well, again, this has been a great conversation. I'm going to try to talk to the other people as well and see how it goes. And then just, again, try to educate the public about all of our candidates.
And I
pretty much.
appreciate it because there's not a lot of people doing that. So
I know somebody's got to do it, and it's like I said, somebody's got to do this, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it, and then there you go. So, all right, that's it for today's podcast, and
Sweet.
we are good. Thanks.
thank you.
Yeah, I think that was great.